everybody. Happy Saturday. I'm back for another review of Love After Lockup, Old Flames and New Fires, Season 6, Episode 10. Okay, so we're going to get into this review, and obviously I have a lot of political stuff I need to talk about soon, so I'll make a video soon, because we have Memorial Day, but tonight I'm going to see Patti LaBelle, Shaka Khan, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. I'm excited. As you can see, I'm going to be at Barclays. Barclays is a whole event. And then I'm going to see Beyonce on Wednesday. So I will report back about the 4 queens on the one stage and let y'all know how it went. But I'm really excited to see like legends, because I think this is probably, sometimes it might be the last time you get to see these kind of people together once they reach a certain age or get tired of touring. Anyway, so that's where I am. Also, PSA, I think I'm just going to say this in general, because I don't feel like dealing with this person on a certain level. I do want to be clear that I had no idea how dark the Diddy stuff would be. And I can't do that on a regular basis. And I never told y'all I would, but I'm just saying. And I think the internet and people in general are getting way too comfortable talking about his daughters, his young daughters, and projecting certain kinds of abilities and behaviors onto them because of who their father is, which is something they cannot help. And they're way too comfortable trying to correct and demean and degrade children in general on the internet, but especially black children. And I don't like it. All right, I've said my piece on that. I'm sure I'll have more to say in the coming weeks, months, whatever. But I'm just going to tell you right here, this is not a safe space to leave in the comments nowhere. Okay? Okay. Anyway, all right, so let's start with Brooke and JK. All right. Brooke and JK and Alex? I don't know. All right. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm starting with them. Do y'all realize that after 10 episodes, do y'all realize we have gotten all of this drama from Brooke and JK? And he's only been out of prison a week? So that means all the stuff we were watching over the 10 episodes, and granted, there's 24 hours in a day. It's easy to make a season out of this. But this is this is too chaotic. This is too chaotic for, this is almost too toxic for me to even watch. Okay, and I live to watch some toxic stuff on TV. Okay, I gotta wash my hair for the concert tonight. Anyway, I mean, damn, where are your kids, Brooke, that you care about so much? Stop chasing this man. So we get back at Alex's house, which she's apparently agreed to let production into. If I was her, I wouldn't have done that shit, but that's just me. He's interrogating Alex, okay, about her having sex while he was in jail. That doesn't count. I'm sorry, that doesn't count. And he's up here saying that she doesn't take responsibility for her actions. If you don't want to be bothered, JK, then don't. Then don't. You the one calling her 2 or 3 times, telling her not to show up at a party that she shouldn't know nothing about. Stop playing with me. Stop it. All right. So he wasn't going to give her his all. He said, I was ready to give you my all. How the fuck you gonna give somebody your all and you in prison? That was pissing me off. Okay. So she messed up once that we know of. But to me, it doesn't matter, because as you have told us, JK, you have never been faithful to one woman, and so has your stepdad. He's told us that, and so has your mother. So what are we talking about here? How dare you? Anyway, Alex was really hurt. You could tell. I do think she loves him. I don't think he's good for anybody. So I think you want to take this one, hon, and understand it. It ain't worth it. Alex, I don't know you, but you can do better. He's an abuser. Okay? I don't care what y'all say. I have not forgotten about him pulling those keys out of Brooke's car. I don't care how crazy Brooke is acting while she was driving. That kind of recklessness with somebody's life is what abusers do to intimidate women. Like, remember the next time. I don't like it. And I'm sure he abused Alex. Oh, she let me do whatever I want to do. This, I'm sorry, anybody grabbing on somebody who just met them, that's a habit. That's a habit. We have yet to see JK go back and forth with a man. Anyway, so he basically went over her house to interrogate her and tell her how he felt. That's some bitch shit. Anyway, he came to tell her she hurt him worse than he's ever been hurt. I was like, really? Getting dragged off to jail? Okay. Okay. So she said she doesn't feel like Brooke deserves JK. And I said, you're right. You're right, but not for the reasons you think. Okay? Nobody deserves that piece of garbage. Nobody. JK is unworthy. This hoe, Brooke, calls Bonnie, the same one who recorded Alex admitting that she cheated on JK, who's also living in your house, Brooke, and I'm sure telling him all your business, and she's there to watch you for him because she really wants him, and that's the kind of relationship that they have. I'm sure they've slept together. And this is triangulation, okay? I'm sure we'll see it up close in August when Life After Lockup comes on, but all right, so anyway, he always has somebody watching somebody else. Like, that's the kind of games he plays. All right, so he leaves Alex outside smoking while production picks him up in the car because they got what they needed for the scene. I was like, what the hell? What kind of poor white trash shit is this? Anyway, while production picks him up, so he's lying to her about being on a job search. And he finds out she's been tracking him all along. I was like, you don't pay that phone bill, dummy. You got Bonnie living with her. Y'all don't need to be together. So they meet up at a restaurant and they talk about how he went to talk to Alex and he told her he didn't want to be with her, this, that, and the other. And Brooke was like, why did you need to go over her house to do that? Every time he told her what he said to her, she was like, but you need to go over her house. And you were there for 45 minutes. Facts. She was making a good point. Okay, I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. But I'm going to tell you what pisses me off. Both her and JK's fake, poor imitation of the African American slang dialect is annoying and it's offensive to me. And I don't like it. Okay, JK, how are you going to build I want to build a better life. How are you going to build a better life? Meanwhile, you going to see Alex at her house. She has a house. Instead of looking for a job. You can't build a better life with me with nothing. Anyway, so she said, Brooke said they had an agreement that none of these things were supposed to happen. You knew he was lying. Like, y'all are toxic, okay? And he betrayed her. Okay, great. Don't give him another chance to do it. But you will. You will. These motherfuckers have been together out for 1 week. When you think about all that has transpired, 1 week, when I saw that, I was like, dang. Anyway, she takes him back to his mom's house. First of all, JK, you complaining about Brooke tracking you in the first place. You have some nerve. You being tracked all the time anyway. You got an ankle monitor. Somebody gonna know where you are. So what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my gosh. So she has to drop him back off at his mom's house. Do y'all notice every time he ends up somewhere in a home, it is not his homeboys, his cousins, his male cousins, or anything like that. It's at a woman's house. He's a hobosexual, okay? So, and then he says, oh, tell him I'm gonna take the kids fishing or whatever. Boy, bye. Bye. All right. And they're gonna put them back on TV. Can't we get something new? All right. So Joey and Michael, let's wrap this up. I'm just gonna be quick with this. Let's wrap this up. Joey doesn't want to talk to Michael. Okay, we get it. He said he needs to go, and I was like, that's true. Mike said, look, this whole breakup didn't go well, and I didn't expect it to go well. I broke his heart. And I'm going to have to say this just to be quite frank and honest. As Michael was talking, I was like, I have seen and experienced breakups much worse. than what we saw on TV. Than to just get away from me, get away from me. I don't care. I don't want you anymore. I was like, is that your idea of going bad? Baby, that was light work. That was light work. So Mike says he ruins things that are good for him. So he's like talking, to production or whatever, telling us that he ruins things that are good for him. We can tell. We can tell. But you also just weren't attracted to Joey in a way that you could like him while you were sober. All right? So, Mike, I know what it is to think you should like somebody that you don't. But it's for the best. It wasn't going to work out anyway, especially since your next course of action as you got into the car, not the next day, not after dropping some stuff off at the halfway house, writing in your diary. No. Right after that, you go meet up with your friend Spencer. That name already sounds not trustworthy. I had a friend in college and her boyfriend was named Spencer. And I remember thinking to myself, that's a weird name for a black person. But I didn't really, of course I would never say that out loud. And I just remember one day we were having a conversation and she said, Spencer, she said, me and his mom, have a pretty good relationship or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And because she was somebody I had met in college, but she had known him since high school. And she said, his mother told me that she named him Spencer because she knew he would always be able to get a job with a name like that. Considering all the studies, she was absolutely right. I don't know where that story just came back and popped into my mind. But anyway, just moving on. So Spencer said he didn't see the chemistry. I was like, what are you basing this on? We haven't seen you. Michael just got out of jail. It's only been 2 days. What chemistry were you looking at? I guess they were together, like a month? When Michael went to jail last time? Anyway, but okay, that's why Spencer was like, well, I guess if you say you can't be with anybody, then it's not just you don't want to be with Joey. You don't want to be with anybody. You could tell he was so disappointed because he was ready to be with Michael. I knew that's why he was calling him in the first place. So he says he wants to spend more time with Michael. Michael is such a hoe. But at the same time, y'all allow him to be. Y'all some birds. Anyway, so meanwhile, Joey is crying and thinking it's all a scam. And I knew it. I said, here we go. We're going to have to watch Joey cry hard again. He is so fucking emo. I'm sorry. I can't. So he goes back home where he lives. I thought he was talking to his mom about the breakup initially, right? When he was talking about, he's devastated about it. But apparently Mike went back to prison after 3 weeks. I said, damn, Michael. He told Joey that he was using again. His response, Joey said when he told him over the phone, because Joey was asking him, he said his response was very aggravated. Like, he felt like Joey was bothering him by asking him these questions. I believe that, but also addicts are like that. So whatever. Mike stopped checking in with his parole officer. The last time he had done it was apparently the day of when he was the mom was like, it's a blessing in disguise. I never thought it was going to work out anyway. I said, damn. She said, because she was like, it wasn't going to work out anyway. He's a con. I said, but he is, in the sense the way he's getting money and stuff like that. He said he probably had sex with 14 different people in that time, but that's just a guess. Michael was like, I don't mind being in prison. I've gotten used to it. Michael has some deep-seated issues. And what I mean by that is like the sexual promiscuity. Like, normal human beings enjoy having sex, but the need for the constant male affirmation of sex, the willingness to go to jail and be confined because it feels safer. There's something about that's not healthy. Jail is supposed to be a punishment. There's something wrong. I think jail keeps Michael also from using, and that's the way he keeps from truly abusing himself with the drugs. Anyway, but I am not here to psychologize. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I will. Will and Courtney. These have got to be the dumbest two goofiest motherfuckers I have seen on TV for such a long time. And then the nerve of y'all to have already taped them to be in a trailer for the August season. What the fuck? I'm dead ass right now. Like, these people are not interesting. They're just stupid. Like, they are just hardcore dumb. Anyway, so I wish we could have just left them at the bus stop and y'all just giving us an update at the end and telling us that they've gone their separate ways or something like that and gotten annulment. But no, you couldn't do that. So she says he knew she had sugar daddies. We heard that part. And now all of a sudden he has a problem with it. And granted, she does have a point. Like, you knew about this, and then all of a sudden when I get out, now it's a problem. Well, why'd you encourage it in the first place? So he said he thought he knew her. He said he had no idea how spoiled she was. I was like, first of all, the fact that you thought you knew somebody over the phone in jail that you had never seen in real life is already a dumbass thing to come out your mouth. When you refer to her as spoiled, I feel like it's because he sees her as young. And those are eons apart. 24 and 30 are eons apart. Because trust me, I thought I knew it at 24, in graduate school, working my ass off. And you can be all in them books. You can be as sharp as you want to be. But there are some things that you just have not matured to the way you will by the time you're 30. Okay? Then he runs back up the street. And that shit looks stupid and crazy. After saying, well, the diamond's resale value stays high. That's the good thing about this. And insists on driving her home and keeps her from catching the bus. I was like, if y'all don't cut this fuck shit out. Then the chick from the restaurant comes outside after I'm sure she was watching the whole thing behind the counter and asked if they want their food to go. I said, what the fuck? I forgot y'all left that food in there. The only reason why she would come out and ask that after she overheard that argument, because there wasn't a lot of people in there, is because she wanted to be in the mess. But y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve to be played like that. And I was like, how much time has transpired? Like, I can't. So Will is bummed, okay, because she can't go back to Cali with him because of the law, despite their marriage. So it didn't work out the way you wanted to immediately, because y'all dumbasses went and got married. I hope they didn't file that paperwork. I really hope they haven't filed that paperwork, okay? He has to go, and they had a fight. They meet up to talk about their dumbass fight, okay? He said, they both said things they didn't mean. Are you sure? Anyway, Courtney is like stressed out. I was like, she's stressed and insecure about the relationship. Bitch, you stressed out because you married a man you don't fucking know. This didn't have to be. That was some stupid ass shit. Where is your AA sponsor who brought his ass to the wedding as a witness when he should have said, no, I'm not participating in this just because I think you need to do what's good for you right now. Anyway, is the halfway house just someplace she has to spend the night? Because is it just me? Every time he picks her up, they just go hang out. Like, they just go out to restaurants or they go to a store or they go, she's not going to look for a job. Does this count toward her work requirement? Does WeTV give you credit as an employee to the justice system? Like, will they do that? Does this count? I need to know. Because they're stupid and they're getting on my nerves. But they are going to be back on our TV. I don't care anything about their weird ass sex life. They're weird. And her concern is basically is if he's going to give her a credit card. And he was like, yeah, but it needs to be $1,000 a month limit. I said, you know what, Will, you deserve whatever you get. Moving on. Stupid. Just stupid. All right. Okay. Let's just run through the Brooklyn and Bryant. Okay, Brooklyn and Bryant, I have to be honest, y'all. I thought they were going to give us more. It was like I kept waiting, I kept waiting because it seemed like it could have been a good storyline. Like they could have brought something, but they didn't to me. It was just kind of like, it just kept falling flat. I was like, who's producing this? Anyway, his friend tries to get him to go into the strip club. He tells him he's a bitch for not wanting to go in. Brian asked a good question. He was like, how are we going to go into a strip club at 2:34 p.m.? Now, I don't know if he meant that because he only had 26 minutes to get home, or if he meant that because it was 2:34 in the afternoon. Either way, both were good questions. So Brooklyn is like, you having an ankle monitor and you're going to have to go back to the halfway house, this, that, and the other. Brooklyn was me, though, not when she said that, but when that motherfucker pulled up on her grass. Okay, because if you've had people fuck up your grass before or grew up in a home where people fucked up your grass, you don't like people doing that shit now. Okay? I do not fuck with people's grass. All right? Um, I call the fucking police if he had. So his friend is a whole bitch. Like he's just giving girl. He's giving girl all day. He's cursing her out and blaming her the fact that they were late because she was distracting him. What kind of bitch made shit is that? He's he's DL, I can tell you, and barely, because I can see right through it. That's why he hates Brooklyn for no reason. And some people can say he's playing up for the camera, but I know his type. Okay, I see through it. I've seen his type. They don't even know each other for him to be having all this mouth about it, and for him to be trying to discourage Bryant from having a family, so on and so forth. And not the way I think we would want that to be the case. Like if somebody's saying, well, maybe you need to hold off on this, that, and the other. You ain't providing him no place to stay, so shut the hell up. But honestly, Brooklyn, I'd be damned if I have a man I have to check on like a teenage boy. Not even a child, because a child knows they got to come home and answer to you. But if he wants to go back to jail or the halfway house, let him. You cannot want his freedom more than he wants it. Something is wrong that you don't want to be on the up and up. All right, so BK and Bryant, I honestly thought they were, like I said, I thought they were going to give us more this season, especially because we met her brother and her friends at the beginning. Brian said, you know, you want to get married and have kids and all this stuff, but you bitching at me for not being here at 3 p.m. Yeah. Because if that's what you doing as a homosexual, and you can't even respect time restraints that your PO and the court has put on you, that's indicative of your lack of responsibility or understanding of responsibility. All right, so she's bothered that she just started her period. She was really upset. And I was like, you and Alexis are in opposite situations. And she feels discouraged. She wants to have another kid. But why are you trying to have a baby with this bastard without a job, who I think is a little too comfortable around your daughter? I do. Okay? I mean, Brian was nice about it, unlike the Alexis and Julius. Don't worry, we're going to get to them in a second. He didn't want her feeling bad that she couldn't conceive, because she was like, suppose you want to go and be with somebody who can have kids. It does seem like he was like, then we just won't have another kid. And I thought that was a very supportive thing to say. But it does seem like to me, Brooklyn kind of wants to be with him because his options are slim, and she wants to have another child really bad. And I think her situation, the fact that she's still menstruating on a regular basis, and he just got out, I just think what was I gonna say? I think if she stops worrying about it, that's when it'll happen. Because she's still young. She's giving herself, and she's already carried a healthy baby to term. You know what I mean? So it's not like. Anyway, the difference though with Brooklyn and a young woman like Alexis, is that Brooklyn, and because they're about the same age, like 29, 30, but you can tell Brooklyn is a lot more mature. Brooklyn has had a child before and clearly knows how to take care of herself and a baby, even though, you know, the baby's father's in the picture and stuff like that. She has a nice house and she has a job, and even though she sent him money, you can tell just by the way her daughter looks, by the way she talks, this child is well taken care of, regardless. So she would know how to bounce back. I don't think she has the same emotional trauma or issues, even though she clearly has issues about wanting to be with Bryant, like Alexis does, okay? Brian tells us that prison made him more positive. Okay, Brian. All right. Now, Brian, I will give him this. He has the ability that when they get in a fight, that he can come down and come up off of it and just let it go. Julius doesn't know how to do that because he's immature, and Alexis is 4 years older than him. All right, now that I've given you the foreshadowing of the inevitable, all right, Alexis and Julius. Alexis, and I'm speaking to you. And I do believe that one of the main tenets of misogyny is to blame women for men's behavior. And that's not what I'm doing here. I want to blame you badly for your poor decisions, because I've been telling you since episode 1, you need to use protection with a man who just got out of jail and who does not have a job. Both of those things separately should encourage that. Both of those things together should be without even thinking. You should know that. Anyway, we get Alexis and Julius. She's at home cooking her breakfast in her pink bonnet. That pink bonnet just was so symbolic. Not of just I need to cover my hair because I woke up, but it indicates a level of stress, strain, and I'm being serious, because she has it on like she didn't get awake. She didn't really get herself to get. It's indicative of how she's feeling about herself. Anyway, don't ask me to explain no further than that. So Alexis needs to get one of those jumbo bonnets for the braids, so it'll keep all of her braids in there and keep them fresh. Girl, you get one. Anyway, she said Julius didn't come home last night. I said, good. Let his ass stay wherever he did last night. Call the locksmith. Anyway, we see him in the Uber saying, man, I wasn't doing anything with those girls. She was overreacting. I'm telling you, he's a degenerate, and there's too many young men like him and older men too. I cannot take the inarticulateness of it all. I can't stand the lying, responsibility, the gaslighting, the projection. I just cannot fucking take it. Okay? So first of all, she's overreacting. You pulled off in her car that she pays for with her car insurance that I'm sure your name is not on, while she was trying to talk to you in front of other young women who she doesn't know. And you are dismissing her and mistreating her. Miss me. She didn't overreact the way she could have. Matter of fact, what's even overreacting when you're taking care of him? The fuck? He was pissing me off. So then you have, she said she knows there are going to be girls because of the videos and music and stuff. I was like, huh? First of all, people don't even watch music videos like that anymore. I don't think, I'm sure, I know people make them, but it's just kind of not, since streaming and, the digitalizing of music, we wait for visuals that we're never going to get with Renaissance, but we wait for it for certain people, but it's not something you have to spend money on to sell music the way you did when, we were watching TRL Countdown and, the other BET countdowns like in the 4th grade and shit. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I was like, why are you even trying to understand him? He's not a serious artist. He does need to take that fucking delivery job and be glad he can get a fucking job, seeing that he just got out of jail. She said she feels like he doesn't respect her because he would never go for it if it was the other way around. Girl, you are absolutely right. And that means you need to leave him. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? Actually, no, don't you go. Alex needs to go. What's his name? Not Alex. Julius needs to go. Anyway, let him go. Where is your family? Where is your village? Like, I just want to, I hope that they just didn't want to be on camera on this show, which I can completely understand, because I really hope that you have somebody in your life, along with your best friend who is a good friend, to help you, because somebody needs to really step in. You really need an older woman in your life to tell you, baby, this is not the way. All right, so he walked in and she asked why he hadn't called or texted her, and he had the nerve to walk in and not respond to her question at all, other than where the food at. Bitch, what? You can starve for all I give a fuck, and wherever you gonna eat, it won't be here. How about that? You punk motherfucker. That shit pissed me off so fucking bad. So she tells him that she's pregnant. And she tells him about putting 2 pregnancy sticks that she peed on the kitchen table. I said, Alexis, this is how I know you ain't well. Like, you really need to get yourself together, honey. All right. He didn't even know what the two lines meant. And look, granted, if you don't take pregnancy tests, I get it. So she said she thought Julius would be more happy than nervous. Why would you think that? He's not even happy to see you when he comes inside. He resents you. Even though you're taking care of him. I know it doesn't make sense. I'm not blaming you for that, but I'm just telling you. Is it me, or does she constantly make excuses for his reactions and behavior in the confessional? She's always explaining why she thinks he's reacting like this. We know this isn't a healthy option. Okay? And by healthy, I mean mentally healthy. This is not a good idea. Y'all weren't using protection. That was stupid. He said, well, we got a lot going on. Are you going to be able to handle that? It was that part for me. That part, I caught that. Are you going to be able to handle it? He has no intention of being an active part of this child's life. And quite frankly, both of his parents failed in that area. So we already know the example is not there. And his sisters did not fuck with him when he was in prison down the street. That should tell you a lot, Alexis. And then they pawned him off on you. All right, so he said he's not trying to have any kids right now. She was like, well, what other option do we have? It's here. I was like, well, it's not here. But he started that stupid ass, ignorant loser laughing. Like, man, sometimes it make me say something. And I can't stand them dumb, illiterate, degenerate motherfuckers. I can't stand it. And there's too many black men like that. All right, and we know he's mixed, but for all intents and purposes, we know how he's seen when they put him in the lineup. Okay? Now, basically, she was waiting for him to say out loud, abortion is an option. She was like, well, I've missed my period, this, that, and the other. I know I'm pregnant. I would have used protection to protect myself. As I've said before, over and over again, he just got out of jail. He didn't have an STD test. And because I wouldn't want to have a baby with a man without a job, or a man I'm not married to, or a man that does not accept any kind of responsibility, who thinks he's going to be a rapper by hanging out at the corner in a strip mall that he rents out for an hour to like do fake videos. What the fuck? This was preventable. This was preventable, Alexis. And you're 29 and he is 25. I'm sorry, I'm not a big believer in women dating men who are younger than them. It just doesn't work that way. So she goes into her closet and she starts crying. He finds her in the closet and says he's sorry. She was like, I grew up with a single mom and I didn't meet my father until he was 13. And then he just popped up in and out of her life every other summer, coming from wherever he did. That's some trifling shit. And that probably has a lot to do with her self-esteem. She said they talked about having kids and a family while he was in jail. She says the guys wanted, when they get it, they go left. Alexis, he was also giving you jail talk. Like, he was talking to a slew of other women. And I know you know. You may not know the exact chicks, but I know you know. Hell, he was talking on the speakerphone to Ashley right outside on your porch. I said, what the fuck? Because they always had talk on the speakerphone because of the reality TV. I can't. And I'm really trying, but at the same time, I just don't. Anyway. There are just so many lessons to glean from watching all these mistakes. Anyway, so she said now that she's pregnant, he needs to go and get that delivery job. Yes, you do. It's not like you have a lot of job options. Man, I'll go get some real money right now. Yes, and you'll go right back to jail. If he wants to go, honestly, society may be better for not having shit fucks like him around. Anyway, he says, well, what the F are you talking about? I don't need a job. You need to pick up some more hours. I said, oh, you bitch you. Are you kidding me, right? You know how bold a motherfucker gotta be to be sitting in your face saying that? With his retarded ass. And I'm not talking about, people who have real mental challenges. I'm talking about him. He's, Anyway. I said, say what? Your broke ass thinks I should be taking care of myself, my unborn child, and your grown ass. Alexis, you on your second child, if you want to be honest. She already works full time. He said he's not going to be a delivery boy. That's not him. See, that the fact that he doesn't even have that drive to try is already some bullshit. The fact that you are not enough for him to want to prove himself, y'all don't have the same values, Alexis. You understand that you have to work to pay your bills, and sometimes, a lot of times, that means doing shit you don't want to do. And things you think may be too good for you, but you got to do it if you want a roof over your head. He doesn't understand that. So he's worried about how he'll look as a delivery boy instead of, wow, I need to take care of this kid, so I need to get some stability. He then proceeds to tell her she didn't do nothing for him. And she was like, I wasn't taking care of you in prison. She definitely was, because she told us. He says, yeah, but what do you do for me now? She don't owe you nothing to do for you now. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to? I knew when his relationship was fucked up with his mother, what kind of man he was. And now we see it. So she said, I put a roof over your head. I said, facts. She was like, she fed him. She bought him clothes. She gives you Uber money. Every time we see you, you in an Uber. And this bastard has the nerve to say, I don't have to be here. I have other places I can go. Your gift is the fact that I'm in your presence. Didn't I tell y'all? I knew something about his sister being friends with Alexis and then hooking her up with her brother in jail, but not wanting anything to do with her brother in jail was some bullshit. No, they are the kind of mixed people who, you know, obviously siphon off of black culture, probably have babies with black men, you know, that kind of stuff, but still think they're better because of their proximity to whiteness in a way that, like, for a darker complexion girl like Alexis, she should just be grateful to have a man that looks like that. That should be enough. And that's why he has that attitude. They were raised like that. And don't think them white women do not raise them kids like that. They do. All right. And that pissed me off. And he said, I sleep here and I screw you. I said, I mean, the disrespect was overwhelming. I just, woo, child. Anyway, so he really believes he's doing her a favor by being with him. Allowing her to be with him. And Alexis, I know you don't realize it. Just to be clear, no, he doesn't respect you. But his not respecting you is not because of something you did or something you deserve. It is because he doesn't respect anything. So wherever you are, stop thinking there's something you can do. He wasn't raised right. Shout out to K. Michelle. Can't raise a man. All right. So he is saying she doesn't support him. He's a gaslighter. He's a gaslighter. He came in and really tried to convince her that she was the one with the problem. He picked a fight so he could leave and not be bothered with the responsibility of a baby. She said, I can't pay the rent because I was spending money on him in jail. She's crying out there in the hallway to the camera with that pink bonnet on. And see, that's what I told you. It was symbolic of her not being able to get herself together because she's so, like, she can't, you know what I mean? Like, I just, the fuck. So he's saying, you know, all this shit, they cursing each other out. And I was just like, baby girl, you fucked up. And we all have been dumb for love. And that's really why I want to be careful with her. Because I really feel like her brokenness has made her very naive. But I think you just need some hard truths right now. Because this ain't going to get no better. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I wish you honestly wouldn't have gotten pregnant because he's not shit. I don't believe in telling people if you can't afford a baby, don't have them. I do think that promotes eugenics. I do. Now, do I think people should make smarter decisions? Yes. But money comes, money goes. We live in a capitalist society. You can't predict, and we don't have social safety nets that should keep people protected, right? That being said, it's also because this was preventable, and he is not a person that you want to have a baby with, period. So anyway, she walks outside. After he walked out on her, he didn't come back and apologize. After he said those horrible, horrible things to her, she walked outside in her pink bonnet and her pajamas, no bra. she is crying at him for not having something to say to her. You can't make him. I'm telling you, something is wrong with him. And I mean really wrong, like from the time he was a child, he wasn't raised right. So, or raised at all. So she's crying for him, you know, all this other stuff, saying she wants a better life for their kid than they had, and essentially wants him to be in her life to make that happen. I'm going to tell you right now, this is why I originally felt sorry for her, because I can tell she's broken. Her self-esteem is low. You can even tell in the confessional, she seems sad. Like, we don't really see Alexis smile. And I think she wants to have a baby to fix things of the past. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people want to start families and say, hey, like they do want to have kids and they do want to make it better. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I do think there's something wrong when this plan is so obviously not going to work from the gate. Okay? So, I get it. But he manages to blame her for the way she was acting. She could honestly not be more reasonable and calm. And sorry motherfuckers love breaking women down like that even further. He's that kind. Which means he has no boundaries. Which means he'll become increasingly abusive towards you. Okay? He is not going to be there to build you up. He's not going to mature out of that. You can tell by how degenerate his behavior, his mind, and his inability to articulate is. All right? So she was stressed. She's newly pregnant. Yes, baby girl. You're right. You do need to love yourself more. All right. Now, finally, last but not least, the problematic favorite. Kiana and Deondri. All right. She's still in the process of kicking him out. She took his video game and threw it out on the lawn. I don't know why that was so funny to me, but that probably hurt more than anything else. That would hurt more than if she didn't get back Big Mama's cubic zirconium. Anyway, so why am I doing these things? Okay, so she said, why did you cheat on me? He said, you started this on this platform. I was like, huh? I said, does he mean that she started bringing attention on all of this by signing them up for this show? Maybe. Then she tells us she had a slip up when he was in the shoe because she found out he had been texting his baby mama. Well, Joella was always putting it out on social media that her baby daddy was coming back like a basic bird that she is. She had every right to be pissed. Who wouldn't have sex while you locked up? As far as I'm concerned, that don't count. It doesn't count. It does not count. You are in jail. It does not count. Okay? He's locked up, not her. So, and then to say that, and he's still cheating on her while he's saying this to her, acting like she's the origin of all this, is some bullshit. Women are supposed to be faithful no matter what, even to a man who clearly has multiple women. And then they have the nerves to try to act hurt, because that's all they're doing is acting, and offended when you do it. She's still hanging around. If you don't want to be with her, go. Bye. You chose to be with her anyway, because she can provide for you. Deondri has 6 damn kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it does not seem they are in the order of his relationship with Joella, like in the timeline, and then these 3 other women. This is just here, there, and everywhere. I want y'all to quit pretending like that man ain't got 6 kids. Okay, so that in and of itself, at the age of 27, and you've been in jail for like 2 or 3 years or whatever, that in and of itself is a problem. It's a character flaw. It's a character flaw. Anybody that young, as a male with that many kids from different women, that to me is already telling that you have issues. You do. We see Kirk's issues. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop anymore, but we can see Kirk's issues. I always wonder how they were together when she was so young and managed to have all these kids before her. It never set well with me, and honestly, we see why, but nevertheless. My problem with Kiana is that Kiana is smart. Kiana knows what's going on, and she chooses to turn a blind eye, right? So she threw the ring at him. She knows they're going to be messing around in a week. At least that's what I think. And I turned out to be right by the end. The way I would have grabbed, and he was like, yeah, but I'm going to kill your wine first. Let me tell you something. The way I would have grabbed that glass of wine out of his hand and smashed it on his head and told the police that he was breaking and entering, you, baby, okay? Anyway, if he goes and gives that cubic zirconium to Joella, I'm going to know something, okay? I will not be surprised. All right? Anyway, so Kiana, you are young. Please move on with your life, even though we know you haven't, because they're telling us that we're going to see y'all on Life After Lockup. Now, for entertainment purposes, I'm here for it for the moment. It's going to get worse. It's not going to be as entertaining. But you are young. I'm just glad you aren't pregnant, because that will open up a whole nother can of worms, and that would be his 7th child, and that is not going to fix anything. As you can see with Joella, him having his family is not the same in Joella's head as it is his. Okay? And I just don't think marrying somebody like him is a good idea. You can do better. It probably doesn't seem like it, probably doesn't feel like it, because you probably ain't meeting better. But I'm telling you right now, and please don't get pregnant by him. Alexis did that. Please don't do that. Please. Okay? Joella is like, Deondri is staying with her because Kiana put him out, because she found our text messages between each other. And she was like, he can stay here because I just wanted my family back and I got what I wanted. I said, Joella. And she was and what was pissing me off was how calm she was about it. Like, Joella, I just want to smack you. Like, he's not a prize. Like, just simply having, and that's the problem with this rhetoric that's been there. Well, the father needs to be in the home. The father needs to be in home. Women need to keep. No. That man that claims he can't see his kids really never wanted to be in that child's life. That's just the lie, and it's the lie that caught on, and it's the lie that black men tell, and it's the lie that pick-me's help promote. Miss me. I'm not saying there aren't cases of that, but by and large, that's what it is. Okay? Regardless of race, that's what it is. All right? And I'm sitting up here like, you talking about you want your family back. What you not gonna do is ignore them other 3 kids like you don't know about them. Like there aren't 3 other whole baby mamas with his kids that we have not seen, that his family did not bring up at the cookout. He has 6 kids, 3 by you and others in between. Baby girl, let me tell you something. He said he stays with his baby mom when he has to watch his kids. Didn't that kind of sound like, oh yeah, it's something I got to do? Like he the babysitter, staying over the night when, like your parents go out of town for like 2 nights or something. Like, what the fuck? Those are your kids. And she has to go to work. Yeah, because she feeding you and them. 3 kids? He says, when we're together at times, it does feel like, we're a family. I said, it should, because y'all are. No matter how many times y'all break up, y'all got kids. Y'all gonna always be family and connected. He's making it clear, though, to us, as he said, that he's single, while he lives between her house and his dad's house, while he's screwing her and probably Kiana too. All right? And some other chicks in between, I'm sure. I don't know what would make somebody look at him and want him. When I tell you he's the kind of person I wouldn't even want to buy apples out of the grocery store after he touches them, because he look like he don't really wash his hands a lot and stuff. It just, I don't know, something about him. I don't get it. I know Cincinnati's a fucked up place. It's, it's, but damn. Okay? So his father said, Deondri, just getting out and getting in a relationship. He needs to be honest with himself in terms of what he wants. He walks outside from saying bye to his father. Joella's there with the 3 kids because, they're with the grandparent or whatever. And he is so ain't shit. He walks out, says, didn't he tell him he had to go to work? I knew they were going to get back together. Walks out. We see Kiana. She said they still talk every day and we mess around. Kiana, please don't get pregnant trying to prove something. Please go find somebody else. Please. He is playing both of y'all, and he does not respect you, Joella. He respects you even less than he respects Kiana. Because no matter what he does, you put up with it. Like, she's a pretty girl. She could clearly find somebody else. Somebody else who has kids too, and y'all just make it work. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, we will see what becomes of this. So we had the updates at the end, right? Courtney got arrested 6 weeks later. I said, but they still gonna be on life after lockup. I can't. I just can't. I just can't. Why? So Kiana's rekindling her relationship with Deondri that never stopped. Deondri lives between his dad's house and Joella's. He is such a good for nothing. Joella, there is no reason for him to respect you or ever do anything for you, just so you know. Like, you will take whatever bone scraps this ugly bastard will give you, and it's just a dumbass decision on your part. Bryant is off of house arrest. They're still trying to conceive. They won't be on life after lockup. I'd rather them than Will and Courtney. Anyway, Brooke and JK will be on life after lockup. That whole relationship is a crash out. Is it going to be Brooke, JK, and Alex, or Brooke, JK, Alex, and Bonnie? Like, I need to know. Anyway, since JK doesn't have a job and Brooke's mother's going to fire her, I am curious about how they're going to make their money. Ashley has a new boyfriend and covered up that dumbass Julius tattoo. First of all, she needs therapy. We need to medicate her first so we can get to her brain, because she is one of the something is off about her. All right, now Julius was right about that one part. Alexis gave birth to a baby girl, and congratulations to her, and named her Juliana, clearly after her father. Why? He's not going to be around. And also, I was on TikTok and she was recording her kicking him out and saying, you walked out on your family. Yeah, let everybody see how you walking out on your family, because that's definitely going to make him stay. And then he's doing like this stupid rap video and he holding a baby all wrong. Child, I can't. Joey and Michael haven't talked good. Michael won't be out until 2029. So if this show is still going, maybe we'll see him then. And that's all, folks. But I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll let y'all know how the Four Queens concert goes and stuff like that. And I will see y'all soon. Bye.